What do you see at Christmas? Christmas trees. Do you know why? Let me tell you the story of 3 trees. A long time ago, high up on a mountain, there were 3 little trees. They dreamed about what they wanted to become when they grew up. The first little tree looked up at the sky. It was a sky filled with stars, shining like diamonds. "I want to hold treasure," he said. "I will be the most beautiful treasure box in the whole world." The second little tree looked at the river flowing into the sea. "I want to be a great big ship," he said. "I want to sail the seas and carry powerful kings. I will be the greatest ship in the world." The third little tree looked at all the people in town. They were working very hard and they were very busy. The third tree thought to himself, "I want to grow tall. When people look at me, they will stop to rest and raise their eyes to heaven and think of God. I want to be the tallest tree in the whole world." Many years later, the little trees grew and became big trees. One day, 3 woodcutters climbed up the mountain. One by one, they cut down each tree. The first tree was brought to a carpenter's shop, but he did not become a treasure box. He became a feed box for hungry farm animals. The second tree was brought to a shipyard, but he did not become a great ship for kings. He was made into a small fishing boat. The third tree was left aside, forgotten. The 3 trees almost forgot their dreams. One night, a great light shone on the first tree. A young woman placed her newborn baby in the feed box. Then the first tree knew he was holding the greatest treasure in the whole world. Many years later, a man and his friends got on the small fishing boat. Suddenly, there was a great storm. Everyone was afraid. The man got up, stretched out his hand and said, "Peace, be still." Immediately, the storm stopped. Then the second tree knew that he was carrying the King of heaven and earth. A few years later, a group of soldiers nailed a man's hands on the third tree. They laughed and spat at him. They did not believe who he said he was. The man was raised up on the cross to die. When he took his last breath, the sky turned dark and the earth shook. 3 days later, the man came back to life. Then the third tree knew that this man was the Son of God. The 3 little trees did not become what they wanted to be, but God was in control. After all, He made them. He had better plans for them. God made the first tree to hold the greatest treasure we could ever hope for. God made the second tree to carry the King of heaven and earth, who can calm all our storms. God made the third tree into a cross. Jesus died on the cross for us, so that we may live. Jesus is how we know God loves us. The 3 trees are God's creation, just like you and me. Each of them met Jesus and became a part of God's plan to show how He loves us. Just like the trees, we can come close to God to know and trust Him. This Christmas, when you look at a Christmas tree, may you know that God loves you and that you can trust in Him.